So we're going to start off today, and well, this was a comment to the video I put out a day or two ago. Thanks for the info, Mark. I fell for this shit and paid the £12. A pair of thieving bastards. Straight from someone that's been there. As you can see, Begum is back in the country. Royals in Satan storm, Doc tell of death cult. Now this is from 1993, but it just shows you they've been up to it forever, because the Royals are run and are involved in a satanic death cult where they murder, abuse children. Having at least one lazy day per week can reduce stress, high blood pressure and the chances of having a stroke. So why not make today or tomorrow or whenever your day chill? This is how you put an end to war. You send all the warmongering bastards off to fight it. You see, not one of them would turn up. Ego versus soul. Ego seeks to serve itself. Soul seeks to serve others. Ego seeks outward recognition. Soul seeks inner authenticity. Ego sees life as a competition. Soul sees life as a gift. Ego seeks to preserve self. Soul seeks to preserve others. Ego looks outwards. Soul looks inwards. Ego feels lack. Soul feels abundance. Ego is mortal. Soul is eternal. Ego is drawn to lust. Soul is drawn to love. Seeks wisdom. Ego seeks wisdom. Soul is wisdom. Ego enjoys the prize. Soul enjoys the journey. Ego is cause to pain. Soul is cause to healing. Ego rejects God. Soul embraces God, or the creator, whatever you want to call him. Ego seeks to be filled. Soul is eternal wholeness. Ego is me. Soul is we. Third eye fact. The ancients used sound to heal, and also to move the blocks of the pyramids. In Malta, the oldest underground temple in the world, there is a room called the Oracle Chamber, designed to vibrate sounds at 111 Hz, which scientists know now kills cancer cells using the power of the 11th harmonic. There are many ways to heal cancer. And I think that word in white sums it up really. DVDs of child sexual abuse victims, interviews lost by CPS. Information Commissioner's Office fines CPS £325,000 after DVDs showing victims revealing sensitive details of the abuse disappear after being delivered to reception. This thing here is a gatekeeper, and she's the one that is dumping all the information. She is guilty of at least protecting paedophiles, and as I've always said, the only type of thing that would protect a paedophile is another paedophile, so she's almost certainly a paedophile as well. The bankers want war so they can lend dollars, pounds at interest to both sides. Defence contractors want war so they can sell armaments to both sides. Governments want war so the bankers and corporations keep them employed and in power. Wars are big business. They are manufactured by the elites, not by enemy rivals. Hello, I'm Benjamin Netanyahu. My real name is Benzion Milkowski. I'm a Zionist and current PM of Israel. My grandfather was Russian, my father was Polish, my family came to Palestine from Europe as refugees, and later we killed Palestinians and illegally occupied their land. Our Jewish agenda is to employ the tools of chaos magic, to use deception, lies, craft and magic to obtain the conquest of the Gentile world and establish our Jewish New World Order. Zionist New World Order actually, but there you go. What's out there, Dad? Ignorant son on a scale I've never seen before. I'm glad the conversation has moved on to Anna Soubry's steadfast principles. Anna Soubry claimed £14 cost of delivering Remembrance Day poppies. Tory minister claimed £14 cost of delivering Remembrance Day poppies. This is time that she just did one. picture says 1,000 words. A new wave of internet censorship may be on the horizon. 2018 was a pivotal year for data protection. First, the Cambridge Analytica scandal put a spotlight on Facebook's questionable privacy practices. Then the new Data Protection Act and the General Data Protection Regulations focused business to better handle personal data. As these events continue to develop, 2019 is shaping to be a similar consequential year for free speech online, as new forms of digital censorship assert themselves in the UK and EU. If you want to read the whole story, links in description. 30,000 extra sick and disabled people, underpaid thousands in ESA benefits, Minister admits. Many more sick and disabled people were underpaid benefits than previously thought. The UK government has admitted that many more sick and disabled people were underpaid benefits than previously thought, following a shameful blunder by the Department of Work and Pensions. They're not fit for purpose. They need sacking, the lot of them, starting with the MPs. That resulted in vulnerable people missing out on thousands of pounds in vital benefit payments. Newest estimates published by the DWP on Thursday suggest that as many as 210,000 sick and disabled people were underpaid employment and support allowance, ESA, when transferred from incapacity benefit. It doesn't work just like the government. There's no such thing as bedroom tax, says Tory welfare spokesman. Gaff-prone Tory welfare spokesman Michelle Ballantyne bizarrely claimed that the hated bedroom tax did not exist, in the last sign of a Tory party in denial over their own policies. During a meeting in Holyrood's Social Security Committee, Michelle Ballantyne claimed that there is no such thing as bedroom tax, in a shocking dismissal of the Tory policy which affected 80,000 Scots and drove thousands into poverty. The SNP has called for Michelle Ballantyne to apologise for the remarks after the MSP previously made outrageous comments about low-income families. So she's lied, and you just wanted to apologise. She should be sacked. 5 million British Gas and Scottish Power customers see energy prices hike of 10.5%, and I know adding more than 115 onto average annual bills. Now, I know I did this yesterday, but this one's apparently 10.5%. EDF, E.ON and Empower are three major suppliers that have announced increases. Nearly 4 million British gas customers will be affected by the latest hike. The firm is raising prices to match Ofgem's price cap increase. So it's Ofgem's fault. They're put there to supposedly make sure that we don't get robbed, and they're making them robbers. Scottish Power has also revealed its hike hitting nearly 1 million customers. British Gas and Scottish Power are the latest big six energy suppliers. Right, first of all, there is no big six. They're all controlled by one at the top. So this big six is to give you the illusion of choice. Standard variable tariffs and Ofgem up to price cap. British Gas is raising its price by 10.5%, which will see the average dual fuel bill increase by £120 a year, costing an average SVT customer £1,254 a year. Scottish Power is also raising its prices by 10%, £117 a year, meaning its standard plan will also cost an average of £1,254. The price rise will come into effect April 1st and will hit nearly 5 million households, 3.9 million British Gas customers and 900,000 Scottish Power customers. British Gas is the largest big six supplier to raise its price to match Ofgem price cap hike. Thanks to the size of British Gas, it will comfortably be the largest amount of people affected. EDF, E.ON and Empower all announced last week they are putting up their SVT tariffs in response to the price cap change, with one expert last week warning of the domino effect. It's time we fought back and stopped paying these corrupt bastards. And don't forget, it was a government organisation that hiked it up 10%. I don't feel high, I feel better. 90-year-old tries pot, then cuts back on morphine. And that's the real reason they don't want it legalised, because it would stop all the pharmaceutical shit that everyone's taking. New York, Ruth Brunn finally said yes to marijuana. She's 98. She pops a green pill filled with cannabis oil into her mouth with a sip of vitamin water. Then Brunn, who has neuropathy, settles back in her wheelchair and waits for the jabbing pain in her shoulders, arms and hands to ebb. I don't feel high or stoned, she said. All I know is I feel better when I take this. Brunn will soon have company. The nursing home in New York City, where she lives, the Hebrew home at Riverdale, is taking the unusual step of helping its residents use medical marijuana under a new program to treat various illnesses with an alternative to prescription drugs. That's why they don't want to legalise it, because it cures or alleviates pain in just about everything. Cannabis may pose long-term risks to the alcohol industry. Oh no! The legal marijuana industry could emerge to become one of the biggest threats to the multi-billion-dollar beverage alcohol business, according to a new report from top analytic firm. I can confirm that those that drink alcohol will continue to drink alcohol even if they take marijuana, because they sort of like go along with each other. So this is just bullshit. Although it will make a lot give up drinking as well. The IWSR, the leading source of the data and intelligence of an alcohol average market, in conjunction with the BDS Analytics, says a growing number of consumers, especially millennials, are showing a preference to consume both booze and buds versus older generation, which tend to stick with just one. That could cut into the long-term loyalty effects of beverage makers, especially those in beer and spirit fields. See, it'll even stop you being an elker if you want to. Capita to pay damages to family of woman denied benefits. A family whose daughter died after being denied the main disability benefit have been awarded $10,000. That's not enough. It should be 10 million, because if every time that happened they got fined 10 million, they'd make sure they got their payments out on time and stop finding for the government, the murdering suicide cult. Victoria Smith, 33, of Market Drayton, passed away last July, just weeks after being told she was not eligible for personal independent payment. How long are we going to put up with this frigging government murdering us? Her family sued Capita for making inaccurate statements on Miss Smith's health assessment. Capita told the BBC it stood by the original decision. See, even when they're caught out, they still say, oh no, don't do with us. Grace Packer murder. Mother accused of dismembering adopted daughter who was child welfare worker. A woman charged with murdering and dismembering her adoptive daughter in a shared rape and murder fantasy with her boyfriend was a child welfare worker, it was revealed. Sarah Parker, 41, allegedly watched a 14-year-old Grace Packer was raped by Jacob Sullivan, beaten and strangled. Grace's body was later dumped in a forest in Pennsylvania. Mr. Sullivan, 44, was arrested by Bucks County detectives and formally charged with rape and murder on Sunday morning over the death, while Miss Packer was arraigned on charges including criminal homicide, rape and abuse of a corpse. Now authorities have said Miss Packer worked as an adoptive supervisor for 7 years at the Northampton County Children, Youth and Family Division. Court documents claimed the couple began plotting to kill the girl in the autumn of 2015. Mr. Sullivan told detectives that he and Sarah Packer drove Grace to the new home in Oakentown on July 8, 2016. Once inside, Mr. Sullivan allegedly struck the teenager in the face and then raped her, later on murdering her. These were supposedly she was supposedly a child welfare worker. They think they can get away with it because they have been getting away with it. Nursing home resident euthanized against her will. Once you create a situation at law where killing of another person is allowed, it's certainly in certain circumstances. Not only will the circumstances which such killing is endorsed or allowed change over time, but the boundaries, however, originally drawn, will be entirely ineffective in providing moral, legal and ethical guidance and restraint. In Belgium, the Netherlands, and the thousands of euthanasia deaths since their laws came into being in 2002, few cases have ever been referred to by the review system of justice for further scrutiny in Belgium. That number is one case only. According to a multiplicity of reports, an unnamed woman on octogenarian living in a nursing home and experiencing dementia was euthanized against her will. She had made a comment in her advance directive that she would like euthanasia when I myself find it the right time. The woman had been resident in the nursing. This is murder. This is plain and simple murder. Links in description if you want to read the full story. I'm sick of this shit that's going on. House of Horrors. Parents admit torture and abuse charges. David and Louise Turpin imprisoned their 13 children in their home in California and even chained them to their beds. A couple who shackled some of their 13 children to beds and starved them have pleaded guilty to torture and abuse. David and Louise Turpin from California were arrested in January 2018 when their 17-year-old daughter called police after managing to escape from the House of Horrors in Paris. It would seem the whole world's gone mad. It's not. It's only those in charge. The parents now pleaded guilty to 14 counts, including abusing minor and adult children and imprisoning them in their house. Riverside County Attorney Mike Heston and David, 57, said David, 57, and Louis, 50, will face 25 years in prison. He said the guilty pleas, which are part of the deal, are important and ensured the children would not have to testify. Unfortunately, that means they're now in social care, which is going to be just as bad, if not worse, than what's going on. This sort of thing needs stamping out. Claims £1 parking ticket from taxpayers. A cabinet member who claimed there is no such thing as a free parking in the real world has claimed more than 40 parking tickets on expenses. Councillor John Smith, cabinet member for health and wellbeing at Worcestershire County Council, said a call for a free parking trial for staff at Worcester Royal Hospital was totally unsustainable and would lose the NHS millions a year. As he claims back himself. These bastards, we need to get rid of them. We need rid of them. Councils, government, they all need to be gone. I'm not going to read the rest because it'll just wind us up. Revealed how Israel offered to sell South Africa nuclear weapons. Secret South African documents reveal that Israel offered to sell nuclear warheads to the apartheid regime, providing the first official documentary evidence of the state's possession of nuclear weapons. The top secret minutes of meetings between senior officials from the two countries in '75 show that South Africa's defence minister, P.W. Botha, asked for the warheads, and Shimon Peres, then Israel's defence minister and now its president, or maybe at the time, responded by offering them in 3 sizes. The two men also signed a broad-ranging agreement governing military ties between the two countries that included a clause declaring that the very existence of this agreement was to remain secret. The Zionist bastards are the problem. Macron's yellow vest concessions backfire. French leader's popularity rating fails to rise. French President Macron popularity rating remained low in February. A poll showed on Friday after series of emergency concessions failed to defuse the political crisis sparked by anti-government yellow vest revolt. A BVA Orange poll of 1,012 people concluded between February 20 and 21st for RTL Radio and business newspaper La Tribune showed that 30% of French people have a favourable opinion of Macron. I don't believe that. Down 1% from the last month, but his dissatisfying rating remains high, with 69% of respondents holding an unfavourable opinion of the centrist. UK banks' highest financial monthly surplus since records began in '93. Brexit Britain has ran a budget surplus of 14.9 billion in January, the highest since records began in '93. Miserable mainstream media coverage is increasingly once out of step with the incredibly strong performance of Britain's economy as the country prepares to exit the European Union. The January 2019 surplus was 5.6 billion greater than the January 2018. The economy is undoubtedly outperforming the expectations of economists such as those who took part in Reuters poll. Public borrowing in the current financial year, April 2018 to January 2019, was 21.2 billion, which is 18.5 billion less than the same period for previous year. However, it should be remembered that public sector debts continue to grow. It has hit 1,782 billion, up 40 billion in January. Jodie Whiting, DWP continue to phone woman who took her own life, inquiry finds. The Department of Work and Pensions, DWP, continues to phone and write to disabled woman who had taken her own life after having her benefits stopped. An independent investigation has found. The report by the independent case examiner, which means it's not independent, Joanna Wallace, concluded that the DWP had no system that immediately alerts all the relevant staff that a claimant of employment and support allowance has died. They're not fit for purpose, just like the governments, the councils and the courts. Express. Tory's tribute to heroic airmen who saved his life. Science condemns greed of drug firm. Revealed baby-faced killer of Alicia 6. First picture of teenage monster who faces rest of his life behind bars. I'd be nothing without acting, says Olivia. Yeah, that's right, you're nothing. The Guardian. Minister's message to me, quit in the next 3 months. Everything you need to know about Alan Partridge. The Scum. The Greatest Showman, the sequel. Gargoyle's Oscar crisis, yeah. ID ban on monsters lifted. Babyface beast Alicia killer finally named. Cabinet 3 threat to delay Brexit. We need to get rid of these bastards in Parliament, all of them. Waste of paper, Star. Jihadi bride scandal. Danny Dyer, don't give a toss what you think. A whole week of this shit, that's how you know it's a psyop. Mirror. Meghan and Harry fly into danger zone. Security feels as Prince and heavily pregnant Duchess head to City of Riot. Parasite. Scum bastards with a fake bump strap on. The Times. Help to buy house. Giant faces lose of contract. Anger as pension set to post 1 billion profit. Oh. Telegraph. Jihadi Jack. I miss my mother. Looking for her ideal Bond boy. Care cap would lead to big tax rises, May told. Police force denied job of white man to white men. That's because we're the enemy to the government, the white race. So we need to get rid of them now. Anything but independent. Running down the clock is reckless. Gina Miller. She needs sacking. A real threat to the safety of a nation. Mothers are still judged for working. The ignorance of a sports trans row. Live in concert, Venezuela's proxy war. We will keep May in power, says Tory defector. Allen says new group of MPs would back PM in confidence vote. Aye. Jihadi Jack, now I want to come back. 23-year-old who ran away to Syria in 2014 says he misses his mum, pasties and Doctor Who. Jack Letts, speaking from a Kurdish prison, says he feels Britain and wants to come home. At the time I thought the Bataclan attack was a good thing. In Raga I've seen children burnt alive. The only one that's come back because he's in the nick. Daily Fail. 3 cabinet ministers give May ultimatum. Cabinet no deal revolt. And then they're always pushing this transgender bollocks. There are 2 genders, man or woman. Everything else, well, it's crap. It's made up bullshit. Transgender BBC star. Even lovers never guessed my secret. Jeez. She should be locked up for that. Not telling them that she was a bloke. FT. SFO abandons high-profile probes. Food flight. Sec trouble. Sparks sell-off. Provide financial takeover, rebuff trigger, 1.3 billion hostile bid for rival. Corbyn under attack with 9th MP quit Labour. Again, nothing in them. Don't waste your money. Save it and buy something worth having and not spending it on a website that costs £12 when all the information is freely available on the internet anyway.